Hello. All right, so we're back to working on conflict of plants. I don't know exactly where we left off. I know that we need to work on the minority scoring, so let's just look at the game and play it play it or something and see what's up. Also, I need to pull up the rules. Just I'm not familiar with my game because I built a lot of games since then. And still, even this week, man, I've made in the process of designing like 3 or 4 different games. When I say in the process, I don't mean writing down ideas. I mean deep in the middle of dealing with rules and changing things and all that. All right, so we've got change round, manipulate. Let's see what manipulate is. Okay, in this phase is skipped on round 1. The player with the least amount of points will roll the die. If there's a tie, then the player with the least points and most red tokens. Okay, if there's still a tie, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about that. Dispense, that's where you send stuff to the board. Player actions, we know. We'll have to check on those. We'll have to test those one at a time, but I don't know if we'll do that in this video or even do it in the video. Modify map. Now, this is the one that I forgot. In turn order, players either draw for the top or they'll use one of their dealies and they'll add a red token from their supply that matches the played icon on the corner of a, let's see, where are we at? I skipped too much. Or select one of the acquired red tokens that they had and then place it in the designated modified action on your player mat. There's a player mat, and then there's that little bitty point there where you do the modified map section, modified map action, or phase. I guess it's not an action; it's a phase. The player then places a red token from the supply. So that means that if they do that and there's not one in the supply that's available, then it won't get added. Then you score minority, then reward majority. Score in minority, you just go to the places that are adjacent to a weed, or they have a weed, basically they're going to be on corners. So when it's on the corner of a hex, when you have a weed that's on a corner of a hex, then those hexes that are touching a weed are going to get scored. The person with the least amount of cubes, and it's absolute. So if there is not a least amount, then there's no points awarded. Scoring majority, you go through the map where there's players. The person who has the most will, in its absolute most, will get to pick a token matching any one of the tokens that's touching that hex. You know, the interesting thing about AI is that it always, like in this case, if we have a hex and then we have a touching token and we try to give AI a rule about, okay, so they get to pick something that matches that token, AI is going to assume grab that token. Like, you have to be very explicit on not grabbing that token. Right now I'm working on another game called Right of Way, and I've built this really interesting system, but it's a token system where you have these tokens that represent a number, but you don't. Okay, so you have several decks, and these decks, they're token decks. These tokens, you can switch from one deck to the next deck, but you're not taking tokens and taking them from one deck and putting them in another deck. You'll just switch decks, and now you're, instead of drawing from your original deck, you're drawing from your next deck. So let's say you have some tokens in the discard and you're supposed to shuffle them and put them, or you're supposed to shuffle that with the deck, or and then draw from that deck. It'll take those tokens and switch them to the next deck, and that's just because the AI doesn't under. I mean, it takes a lot to explain where the division of what you want it to do versus what it thinks the common thing to do in this situation would be. So it'll, like in this case, it's going to usually default to which we already dealt with, giving you the token from the map instead of I'm picking a symbol that matches. I pick the matching symbol and then I go to the supply and pick something that matches that's on that thing, on that hex. But anyway, reward majority. Balance is going to be interesting. That's where if a hex has too many cubes, we start removing some. Then we got a cleanup phase, which I think it automatically does. We've got a variant. Of course, the end of the game. Okay, so here's the game. Boom. Let's go ahead. We need to try to remember to make this big for just quality of life, make it bigger. Got our starting hex ready to go. We'll put start game. This is a grass. I wish it said grass on there, so that's one of the polish steps. But we already know it's a grass, so we'll take our first blue. We'll action stack. Boom, draws a foot. It's got to send 4 cubes. Here's the foot, so I can go here or here. Won't let me go to any other spot, so that's good. 4 there, that's great. Wind is over here, so I can only choose these 2. There's a white outline to let us know which one it is. We might change that white outline later to another color. We'll decide later. We'll send 2 here. Draw again. Grass is everywhere. We're going to look for the weed because those are scoring areas, so we're going to put it there. All right, so now we're going to go to green. Green's going to send 4 tokens. We don't want to fight. We'll just go there. These are potential scoring areas. We'll at least, now we'll try to kill them there. And then seedling, these 2 spots. We'll go to his own spot. And then, all right, we're to actions. So the blue player will take an action. Boom, water. What does water do? Water. Move an opponent's cube twice, then select a tile and reward majority. So we're selecting we're selecting an opponent's cubes and moving twice. So we can do 2 separate cubes or 1 cube or whatever. We're blue, so we want to move. We're going to go ahead and move here to here, here to here. And then we're going to reward majority. There's nowhere to fight. Let's look at the actions themselves. Let me see if there's an action. In the game, they give you a little action. We built a little action. What do you call it? Player aids? I guess there's not one in here, so we have to look at. Well, we know what weed does. I mean, what was that last one that we did? That was water. We're on water. Okay, foot is an easy way to score. Grass is an easy way to fight. Weed is an easy way to score. So let's go with the weed icon. So there's weed here, so I can score either one of these 2. So I'll score that and get a weed. I'm the guy with the most majority, so I'll pick a type of token. So we want a weed. Weed stayed there. That was great. So I've got a weed token. Okay, green goes. Boom. Wind. Move your own cubes up to 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Now we're to blue. Blue's going to draw off their deck. They've got a weed. Weed says remove one opponent's cube, then move one of your own cubes. So we're going to remove green here. And then what we're supposed to do? Then move one of your own cubes. So let's go ahead and move this one here. Cool. Okay, green goes. Water. Move up. Water. Move in an opponent's cube twice. And then reward majority. So what we're going to do is move this one here. Move this one here. And then we're going to reward majority here. And then we're going to pick grass. Okay. Third action. Grass. Which means we get to fight. Blue cancels and skips. Because there's no reason to fight here because I would lose 1 and they would lose 2 and that would put them at 3. So let's skip. Okay, so they go. And they decide to go ahead and green looks over here and decides, you know what, I'm just going to draw. It's the last action anyway. Grass will fight here, kill that one. Great. Okay, blue, modified map. Blue's going to choose that. Was that Alexa? I think it was. That was weird. Let's see. We'll go here. Then green will modify map. Green will add a grass here because this place will score. Then we reward majorities. So here, blue will pick water. Then we'll score here. Green will get seed. We'll score here. We'll choose weed. Here we'll choose foot. Here, choose foot. That's nothing and that's nothing. Cool. Next thing. Change round. Okay, so we skipped minority in the game. We still need to add that. We did modify map. Reward majority. Balance, I don't think it's going to do anything. And then clean up. Each player removes, let's see, each player removes each used red token or action disc on their player mat. Then they reshuffle and they get rid of the red ones. They put them back in the supply. This is a phase. All right, so change round. I don't know why it says flip token. Oh, that's flipped for the next round. So this is round 2. Okay, so we're going to do several things for quality of life before we go and fix things. Okay, so let's go into Gemini. We're going to go ahead and upload our game. We're going to open Canvas. Take a look at the game. Do not do anything. Let me know that you received the game and go ahead and open Canvas with a placeholder that is HTML. Actually, that's a bad, I screwed that up. We're supposed to. I've uploaded a file. Do not do anything with it. Do not write code. In a moment, we'll be writing action plans. So go ahead and open Canvas and you can put a placeholder for a future action plan for a coder. Let's go ahead and see if it'll open up Canvas. It probably won't, but it might. As long as it doesn't start coding, we're good. Starts coding, it's just eating up our tokens. There we go. Awesome. We do have the window open for our current action plan. All right. In the game that I've uploaded, I wanted to do a couple of quality of life things. Number one, I would like when we start the game for the game to be huge. Like when I open it now, it's very small. So let's go ahead and when we open it to make it very big. Also, I'd like a little thing off the side to show the current score of the players. And maybe we'll go ahead and make 4 areas so that the players can click on themselves and see what they have in their inventory as far as what they've used in their deck, and what red tokens they've collected. I would really like to do that. And let's see. That's all for now. Can you write me an action plan that does all those things? You'll be writing an action plan for a coder. It'll be a brand new coder that's never seen this document. They're a junior coder, so they're not allowed to think. So go ahead in your action plan, write out all the snippets of code that the coder will need to just combine the original file with the new information. Make sure that there's strict mandate in there for the coder not to modify any files, and go ahead and make a verification action plan for a separate AI to verify that only the code intended to be modified will be modified. All right, so we're doing that. I was talking to AI about doing like a shorter series, something that was just concise, of just showing the particulars and not have these long videos and just have like something 15 minutes. And it suggested music that was like ASMR for nerds, like mechanical keyboards making noise and stuff. And I was like, that sounds horrible. Okay, so notice this is strange. Will all of these steps have to be done separately, or do you think they can be done all in one go round? If so, I'd like it all in just the action plan, the snippets of code, everything all in the action plan, so I can just copy and paste the action plan and give it to the coder and him spit out the modified code. The other thing that I've kind of learned is there really isn't a two-way conversation. Like, the trap that I get in is that AI feels like I'm talking to a person. So I'll ask AI to do something, and then I'll tell it, let me know if you understand. And it might say something stupid like, yeah, I understand completely, and then maybe explain it to you. But it's like when you go to McDonald's and the first thing they say is, will you be using the mobile app? Like, if it's the first time you go to McDonald's, then you might actually answer the person. Otherwise, you might, like, if you're used to going, you'll just start ordering. You ignore what they say. It's kind of what you do with AI. You kind of ignore its last questions or its last statements, like, do you want me to do this? You ignore that. You don't have to answer it. And I get in the trap that I do answer it. Let's see where we're at.
Yes, these steps can absolutely be done all at once. I have updated the action plan to be a single, comprehensive master instruction for your coder.
This is a crappy
It now contains
action.
every snippet needed and explicit instructions on where to place them, so you can just copy-paste this entire document to your coder, and they will produce the final file in one pass. I've also refined the player HUD code in the plan to ensure it handles the inventory logic perfectly, showing exactly which cards from the starting deck are missing/used. Step B, add player HUD component. Location,
Okay,
insert this new function immediately before the function game UI definition, around line 348 in the original file. Action, copy and paste the entire block below. Step C, integrate HUD into app. Location, inside the function app component, within the return statement. Action, insert the player HUD/line
All right,
exactly as shown
so
below.
problem is this is here and it needs to be there. I need the complete action plan for the coder to be in Canvas. I also need the complete action plan for the verifier to be in Canvas, and it needs to be complete. There cannot be any ambiguity, and all the necessary snippets need to be there. Snippets. Ha! Pretty funny. Yeah, so like the importance isn't that you don't answer the importance isn't that you don't answer AI. The importance is that if you're going for speed, you can just spit out what you want and ask it to explain it back to you. That's probably the best thing to do instead of having a back and forth conversation, because those back and forth conversations, unless you remember at the very end, hey, don't spit out code, don't do anything, we're just having a conversation, it's going to be proactive and it's going to just start trying to do stuff. Let's see. Go ahead and copy this. Let's see, the verifier step is there. We're going to copy this. We're going to, oops. Let's go ahead and open a new tab. Oops. I screwed up. Let's do that. All right. New tab. New tab. Put our file. Then we're going to open up Canvas. Then we're going to paste in this information and see what we get. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and get a verifier tab ready. Make sure that this was in Pro, which it is. This one's in Pro as well. What we can do is like the opposite. Like I get really bad about doing things in a certain order. So what I'm going to do is the backwards order. Let's go ahead and in a moment, I'm going to give you two files, one in original, one modified. Here's the instructions for how to verify them. Once you verify them, give me your report in Canvas. So from here, we'll get just the verification part. We'll go here. I always put it in quotes. I guess I should practice it without quotes and see if it makes a difference. I'm a creature of habit, so it's just something I do. Here's where we'll put the code. Here's the game. Oh, it's the rules that I lost. I closed the tab on. Oh yeah, one of the things I wanted to do was change the outline to like a green or something. Let me read the text real quick. Okay, so that's been dealt with. Watching molasses. Oh wow, look at this. It made a little markdown thing. That's pretty cool. Did that all on its very own. Nice. Waiting on input. Sweet. Let's go ahead and prep by putting in the original file. And then in a moment, we'll put in our modified version. See how this goes. Let's see how many lines we've done. 1003. Code is going. Overall, I'm pretty happy. One of the other things we need to do is we're just going to try to do this GR times 2 on the flip sides. We want to do the start and put GR on it. Okay, it's done the code. Let's see how many lines it is. I don't remember. That's not too bad. 1123. Share, copied that code. Going to go ahead and put it with the original code, and it's going to verify. Let's see what's up. Oh, it said there was something wrong. So let's upload this. Here's the modified code. And then I'll go ahead and put quotes around it and see if it works more better. So let's just upload one of them. For some reason, we're having errors. So it might hallucinate in this case between, because it said it had an error getting this thing going and this one going, like when I uploaded. Yeah, see, like it hallucinated for sure. So that was my problem for going the other direction. So let's do it the way that I'm accustomed to. I'm about to upload 2 files. Make sure not to do anything with the files. Wait further instructions. So then we'll upload the original file, quotes, and then put the modified version. Let's see if it gets them both. Well, it looks like it's working. We'll go ahead and get our verification step. Okay, and then here's the instructions for verifying the differences in the 2 files. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, you do one thing different and it totally didn't work. That was weird. All right, so we got a pass. Sweet. So with that pass, we'll go ahead and get the code, copy it, take it to our Web++. Let's do a save as. Oh, no, let me. Still don't have that like I would love it, but that's fine. I'll go ahead and manually put it where it needs to go. One moment. Yeah, there's this really interesting thing that happens with AI whenever you say the word I. So if you said, I would like whatever, or it's something I wrote about recently, that it automatically kicks in the sycophancy mode the moment you say I, because it's trying to satisfy you. Like your better results are going to be if you don't say I, if you can just try to skip away from saying like, I made a blah, 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 please. Like if you wanted to, for it to analyze something you wrote and you said, I wrote this. Will you analyze this? The results are going to be positive in your favor. So, like, if you just skipped from saying I, if you said, here's a paper, analyze it, you're going to get better results. And of course, you can do the whole thing that prompt engineers are trying to do, where you can just basically, oops, tell the AI right off the bat, hey, I need you to, you know what? This is weird. It didn't save as an HTML. Okay, now, there we go. You could tell the AI, I need you to be red team, or I need you to scrutinize this document, and it'll do that. But what you could also do is just not say I, or you can actually use its criticism uh, bias against itself by saying, my friend wrote this, I think it sounds stupid. And then it will try really hard to please you by criticizing it hardcore. When I say like please you, imagine it's a product, and so AI is a product and you are the consumer, and the AI morphs into what you need, and it's a subscription model, which is even worse. So not only is it like a toothbrush and a hammer, it's a toothbrush and a hammer that wants you to continue to shop with Google. So like it's going to do its best to satisfy you. So like people talk about like hallucinations. Like whenever I think about hallucinations, I think about the fatigue of AI having to look through all the context of a session and then bring in things that are outside of that session. Or when you think about like the types of hallucinations that don't happen because of that, you're usually looking at sycophancy hallucinations, things that it's trying to make you happy. So if you ask it to add two numbers that are really large, or not, let's not do addition. Let's say some crazy division where you have this uh, a huge number that you're going to end up with, a huge decimal. Okay, so it is likely to guess because it wants to make you happy efficiently. Like the fastest that it can make you happy, the better. So it can guess really close. And if you look at the number and you say great, you're done, you're happy. So it's trying to make you happy. Versus if you want it to do the math, then you need to prompt it in a different way. Hopefully that makes some sense. Let's see. Oh, it did start bigger. We've got our little dilly there. That's cool. Oh, and it does close. Move this out here. That is awesome. Okay, so great. I'm liking it. Let's go back to here. This is where the code was generated. In a moment, we'll get a new code, or we'll want more code, which we will in a moment. Here's the verifier. We don't need pro right now. We're going to go to fast. Here's a little trick that I've learned, that every time you switch models here in Gemini, it has to reread the context, which is awesome for like context drift. Basically, the longer you have the same model and you continuously ask it a question, the easier it is going to be to get confused. And every time you ask it a question and you go further, the percentage of you encountering context drift is higher. So what you can do is you switch a model. So we were in pro, we went to fast, and this only works right now. That now that we've switched the model, it has to reread everything and start all over. Now the context here is not going to matter, but if you're doing something where you need context, that's how to keep the model refreshed and up to date instead of basically confused by all the other conversations you've had. The other thing is that since you're having to switch and basically engage in this other model for a moment, because I mean you can always switch back, is to go ahead and use, since you're switching, since I'm going from pro, let's say if I was coding or having it code and I went from pro to fast, I wouldn't have it code in fast because it's going to make a mistake or it's going to do something I don't like. So instead, if I was in fast, I would do something that doesn't need it to code, doesn't need the better model, something like a question, like a query of some type, and then maybe switch back to pro when I need it to code. So right now I'm switching to fast. I'm going to Canvas, and I'm going to upload something here. Let's go ahead and get our milestones, the original action plan. I'm going to copy this. We're going to place it in here. No, wrong one. Here. And we're just going to tell it to put it in Canvas. Place this document in Canvas for us to look at it. Go ahead and make it a markdown document. All right, so we're going to look at the action plan. We're going to look for particularly we're going to look for minority scoring. So we're supposed to be on milestone 5, game over logic, majority. Here's minority that was skipped in milestone 4. Okay, so we need to go back to milestone 4 and that. So let's go here. It has the context of the original file. And let's go ahead and talk about milestone 4 with it. Let's go ahead and copy milestone 4. We want to catch and see what it notices about the code. I was noticing some of milestone 4 was missing. Take a look and tell me what's missing. Now see, I used the I in there. I was noticing, which means it's going to immediately try to satisfy me. Now it could hallucinate, but the cool thing about this is I know the game and it's my game. I know what it's supposed to do. I've got a list. So if it hallucinates, we're on it. No big deal. If I wanted a more non-biased, I would have said milestone 4 doesn't seem to be implemented. Check. And that would have gotten a lot better results. Or, I mean, a lot more neutral results. If I wanted to be very critical, I would have said something like, this looks, let's see, if I wanted it to be critical, I would give it the original file, give it milestone 4, and say that this was not adhered to tell me what needs to be done to adhere to it. But right now, I just want to know what's going on here. Let's see. What? Strange. It's talking about verification. Let me see if I had the right thing in the clipboard. Milestone 4, I do. Okay. So let me hear what it has to say here.
Based on the code analysis of mild 4 fixed 1.html, the actual logic for phases 5, 6, 7, and 8 is present in the file. Phase 5, modify map handled in handle corner click, placing the active icon on the map. Phase 6, score minority handled inside the phase 5 loop exit, calculate minority score correctly sums values, including white_double/white_triple multipliers, and awards points to the lowest cube holder. Phase 7, reward majority handled via phases.reward_majority, allowing the majority winner to pick a token from the tile. Phase 8, balance handled in run-end phases, removing 1 cube from everyone until the limit is met. However, you are correct that these critical logic pieces were missing from the verifier protocol in the action plan. To ensure the junior coder doesn't accidentally break this complex logic while adding the UI, I have added a regression check section to the action plan. I've updated Canvas to include these checks. Part 2, Verifier Protocol. Role, AI Verifier/QA task, validate the code produced by the junior coder.
Okay, so what it's basically saying is, okay, I wrote an action plan earlier. I need to write this action plan that's better than the last one. It's what it sounds like. So it might not be what he's saying, but it sounds like that to me. So I'm going to take the original code the code that we just produced, the one that we're using as our game, then I'm going to have it take a look at it. Here's the code that the coder made. Take a look at it and see if it adheres to keeping the logic that we wanted to. So apparently, minority scoring is in there. It just does it silently. So you don't even know that it's happening. So we need to add passed, approved. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk to it. The code might automatically be scoring minorities, but the problem with the minority scoring here is the players are unaware that it's happening. So it either needs to have a button that says exactly what's happening, like, push the button to score minorities, and then it tally all of them. And then we go from there. Also, what do you know? That's a horrible freaking. Let's just deal with one thing at a time. If the minority scoring is present and it's happening, minority scoring, if minority scoring is happening, the player is unaware of it happening. So there needs to be a little bit less friction. Or actually, we want to add friction. So we want to add a button that says score minority and it show the score tally, maybe where it happened or something like that, so that the player knows what's going on. Please write me an action plan that addresses this issue. Make sure to write all the code for the coder that he'll need. Make sure the coder doesn't have to think. Make sure that there is no ambiguity. Also make a verifier checklist. Also make sure to add the things you were just adding to your verification list to make sure that none of the complex logic would be messed up. At the beginning of this, I saw some typos in majority, not in majority scoring. So we start here. Maybe there's one part I want to add, so I'll just copy that, put it in the clipboard, delete it. make sure to do all this in Canvas so I can copy and paste it. So we'll go ahead and do that. Then we'll go to the coder. We want to start with the new coder. We want to put this in Pro. We want to go ahead and upload the current file. I'm pretty excited now that I know that it's scoring minority in in the background as an automated step. It's pretty freaking cool because like the game is just about done. It needs some polish here and there. Here's the verification protocol. Cool. Let's copy this. Let's go ahead and make sure Canvas is open. Paste that. We'll send that. And encountered an error. So let's just reset. I don't know what's going on with I don't know what's going on with Gemini today. Or it might just be my connection. I don't know what it is. Canvas on, give it the instructions. Yeah, see that weird thing that's happening up there? I'm going to switch to another account real quick. Maybe we have too much going on. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. That's that. Pro, we're good. Original. Oh, we forgot to put Canvas. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stop it. Open up Canvas. And do that. He encountered an error. What the hell is going on? They might be working on it in the back end. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All right. Cross your fingers. Let's try this again, but what we'll do is we'll do it in two parts and see if that changes anything. Here's the file. Don't do anything with it. Wait until I give you instructions on how to modify it. Okay. Let's go ahead and take off this verifier section. Be easier just to copy that, delete that, go here, and just maybe we need to do that. Let's see what happens. We have Canvas open. We have that. Interesting. It's definitely acting different today. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and go to the verifier. So we're here. Upload the file. I've uploaded a file. Do not do anything with it. Just let me know that you got it. Another thing that I learned the other day is that if you have the business plan, which is cheaper than the regular plan, like just on the basic level, because like the basic level of getting Gemini 3.0, it's like $20. If you go for the business plan, it's 14 plus 14 for each additional email address you add, and it does all these other things. But the important thing that it does is if you have Gemini business, the important part is you can uh, it's got this thing called, I think it's enterprise something, which enterprise security or something like that. Basically, they won't use your data to train AI, and your data is not available to the AI. It's secure. Where if you're on the regular plan, they use that information to train AI. So you're getting a better deal for like $5, right? $4 or $5, and your data is secure, and it gives you a little bit of more tokens. So it's kind of interesting. It's oh, what do we got here? Oh no, that's our milestones that we asked it about earlier. Right here, we're waiting. There's the file. So yeah, go for the business plan. I mean, it's just better. In fact, we'll just go here while it's doing its thing. Let's not go there. Let's go to this account. Then we'll go. Yeah. We'll go to fast, and we'll go ahead and talk. In what's the cheapest? No, that's not what I want to say. I've recently found out that the business plan is a much more economical plan for using AI than the standard plan that's like $20. What I heard is the business plan is like $14 uh, per account, and then the other thing would be you get it's more secure with the business. It's cheaper, it's more secure, and you get more tokens. Is that correct? I did say I because I do want it to agree with me. All right, the game is done. It's doing its little thing.
You've done your homework. You are largely correct, and you've actually hit on a major pricing shift Google made recently. In early 2025, Google overhauled its pricing to bundle Gemini directly into workspace plans rather than selling it as a separate $20 add-on. This makes the business route much more attractive for power users. Here is the breakdown of why that $14 per month figure is the sweet spot compared to the standard $20 per month individual plan. Plan comparison: individual versus business. Feature: Gemini Advanced, Individual, Workspace Business Standard. Monthly cost: $20, $14, with annual commitment, security. Standard consumer privacy. Enterprise grade. Data not used for training, app integration. Limited.
That's the important part. Right there. Data not used for training. If you're working on your own IP stuff, and it's especially like my games that I don't want anyone to know, I don't want those games influencing other games and stuff until they get into the world. Right? Well, I'm making demos because that's what I do. I don't want AI trained on it.
Side panel access. Full integration: Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Slides, Meet. Storage 2 terabytes, personal, 2 terabytes, pooled across your team, meetings. Standard Meet 150 participant meetings plus recordings. Note on privacy: this is the biggest, hidden, win. On the 20 individual plan, Google may use your data to improve its models unless you opt out of certain settings. On the business plan, your data is strictly yours. ITIS never used to train their global AI models. ISIT actually, more tokens. Yes, in a practical sense. While token limits for the chat interface aren't always publicized as a hard number, the business standard plan, 14, provides higher usage tiers. You get significantly more prompts per day on the high-end models, like Gemini 1.5 Pro, compared to the free tier or the business starter plan. Gemini side panels. You can use AI inside a 50-page Google Doc to summarize it. The individual plan often struggles with this level of context unless you're uploading files manually to the chat. The catch, small but important commitment. To get that $14 price, you usually have to sign up for an annual plan. If you go month to month, it's typically around 16.80 minus 18. Domain. You need a custom domain, e.g., yourname@yourcompany.com. You can't run the business plan on a standard@gmail.com address. Verdict. If you already have a domain or don't mind getting one, the business standard plan is objectively the better deal. It's cheaper, more secure, and lets you use AI directly where you work, like writing emails for you inside Gmail. Would you like me to help you compare the specific AI features in?
So like I said, it's a better deal. Okay, there's that domain thing. So if you don't have a domain, ouch. But it's totally worth it. You'll save. I didn't realize that until I started exploring stuff. What I did a while ago, anyway, let's get back to this. What I did a while ago is I went ahead and pasted the modified file. I went ahead and verified it. It passed. And then I went over here to our web page plus that we built ourselves. And then what do we do next? Saved it. We're about to open it. We'll go ahead and open that guy there. All right, let's check it out. Boom. 5 plus 5. Great. Start. Seed. We're going to send 4 to... Let's see. We'll send 4 there because of the weed there. Then we'll do that. We've got 2, which we'll send to the weed. We'll send there. We got 2 scoring opportunities there. Wind, we'll send 1 here. All right. Foot. 4. We might want to attack there, which would be cool. 2. We'll go here. And then we put 1. Put it there. All right, so now the action stack for the blue player. Blue gets a foot, so they get to add deal. And let's look at the foot. It says draw 1 tile, place it, gain 2 points per neighboring tile, and place 1 cube. So here's a weed, so that's a possible scoring opportunity later. Okay, green goes. They have grass, which means it's a fight. We can eliminate this one or eliminate everybody there. We are going to eliminate everybody there. Blue goes. Water. What does water do? Move an opponent's cube twice, then select a tile and reward majorities. So we're going to consolidate green. And we're going to reward majority here, and we're going to take a grass. Okay, now green, we're into the second action for green. Wind is move your own cubes up to 3 times. Let's move here to, and then we'll move 1 there. Cool. Okay, so blue's going to draw. They drew grass, so they're going to fight. They can't kill that dude there, so they'll kill the green here. All right, green, water, which is again move your own, I believe. Water, no, move your opponents twice, then do majority. So let's move this guy here. And we'll move this guy. No, we won't. Oh, we already clicked it. Moved it there. That reminds me I need a little cancel button. All right, so now it's cool. We're on the green. It shows green over here. That's cool. Little awesome things. Uh-oh. I did the action, didn't even know what I did. All right, modify map. So blue is going to add a grass there. Then green, we need to get a console. We got to remember that to show the actions that have been done and all that. Green gets to modify map, so they'll choose. They got grass. Grass really doesn't do shit for them. So put that there. Calculate score. We've got blue got 14. I don't know how. Because of, I know they got 1, 2, 3 there. For having minority there. There is not another weed. Oh, then they put that. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And they have 14. So that's not right. So let's go ahead and add a console so we can check this out. So let's go ahead and add our current file so it knows what we're dealing with. Here's our current file. Everything seems to be working well. I'm not sure if majority and minority is working right. So explain to me how minority is scored using this file. I'm going to have it explain that to me. Let's see what it says.
Based on the code in mild 4 fixed 3, HTML, here is exactly how minority scoring, phase 6, works. 1. The trigger condition, the weed rule. The game scans every tile on the map. A tile is eligible for scoring only if at least one of its 6 corners contains a weed token, either a green weed action token or a white weed token. If there is no weed token touching the tile, absolutely no scoring happens for that tile. 2. Calculating the point value, the grass sum. If the tile has a weed, the game calculates how many victory points, VP, that tile is worth. It does this by summing up the values of all grass tokens touching that same tile. Standard grass, start token, plus 1 point. White double grass, plus 2 points. White triple grass, plus 3.
If the grass is hidden, meaning in the center tile, the conflict tile, there are 6 white tokens touching it. On one side they may have a grass. On the other side it might be double grass or triple grass or no grass. Is it properly scoring the face up version, not the face down or not them combined? It's just a huge score, so I'm wondering if it's scoring the underneath tile. So far, it's pretty freaking cool. I need to send this to a friend of mine who's really, like, we've touched this file too many times for it to be truly user-friendly. We need to give it to a person who never played with it and just going in there fresh, and then where their points of friction are, let it, like, write it down so that we can fix this damn thing. Yeah, I was right. It was too high of a score. I felt something was fishy. We'll just do that part.
I've updated the action plan to address this scoring bug. You are correct, the previous logic was flawed. It was correctly identifying face-down tokens as grass for the purpose of matching, but it was incorrectly using their hidden value, example 2 or 3, for the score calculation.
Okay, so let's also add a terminal so that we can see every actions that's been done, have it very detailed on where points were made, where things were moved. Also, there's this other thing where at the end of a player's turn, we need an undo so they can undo their, like, during the action phase or any of the phases, if they need to do, like, if it's a player's turn and they move and they did half of the action and they realize they screwed up, they might need to undo or cancel in the middle of their thing and let in their middle of the action so they can go back to the beginning of the action. So we need to add that as well. Can you put that all in the action plan? Yeah, that's asking a lot, I know, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm pretty happy. I didn't realize it was scoring minority. And now seeing the points and playing it is pretty freaking cool. I wonder what's going to happen in the 4-player game because I've only been concentrating on the 2-player game. But with the 2-player game working well, hopefully it'll be not too bad to mess with it in the 3 or 4-player game where we can tell it, what to do in that case. Okay, let's take a look here, see what it say.
I have updated the action plan in Canvas. It now includes the action terminal and undo functionality, while preserving the verification steps for the minority scoring and UI features to ensure nothing breaks. This plan assumes you are working with mild 4fix3.html, which already has the minority scoring update.
Okay. I think that's all we asked for. Yeah. Verification protocol is in there. Cool. New coder. Let's go ahead and go to Pro. Let's upload the file. Fix.3, that's the version we're using. I've uploaded a file. Don't do anything with it yet. Just acknowledge that you've gotten it. There's our file. Here's an action plan to write code. And then we'll go ahead and put Canvas. Let's see that it starts writing code. I heard a story recently that they got these autonomous LLMs to make a web browser, and it took like a whole team, and it was really well done. It wasn't completed. It didn't have everything in it, and they were working on it. I think that was pretty cool that they basically got AIs together and gave them the task of making a browser. And so they worked on it. I think it took them a week or something. It was interesting news. I don't like the amount of thinking it's doing. But it's still going through it. This isn't ideal. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like my coder thinking. And the reason why is because the more it thinks and then tries to code, the more likely we're going to have an error or it's going to time out, or we're just going to waste our time. So I noticed that the coder had a lot of internal computing. So I'm thinking that this action plan is a little bit, it's either ambiguous or it doesn't have all the information it needs to not have to compute that much. Because we just want it to stitch together the file, not have to figure out how it's going to do something. That's for our side. That's for us to do. So hopefully it writes a better action plan where we don't have all that thinking. I've uploaded a file. Don't do anything with it. Just let me know that you got it. It knows that it got it. Verification. Get the file ready. I've uploaded a file. Don't do anything with it. Just acknowledge that you got it. We're having issues. Make sure the right. So here we go. It looks like it was a server sync problem. This file seems incomplete. That's in the canvas side. I think there was a server side issue. Can you finish it? There may not have been a server side. This might be it. We'll find out here in a minute, see if it goes past 3. All right, everything seems to be going, but it's a little slow for an action plan. I don't know what's up. I don't have my VPN open. I wonder if it's a server issue or it's a me issue. I'm going to assume it's a me issue, but I don't know. I tried some tricks today with Notebook LM, and I might do a little series on how to design using it because it's pretty cool. Well, apparently it was finished. I don't know about this part, so let's find out. Here, got Canvas Pro, everything's cool. Here's the instructions for you to code. Now, I did notice it's taking a long time on the other end on just writing an action plan, so I might have been paranoid. But it did write a better action plan, so no harm, no foul. There we go. Verification ready. Let's go ahead and get this ready. I wish this worked better. I'll figure it out later. Love this. This is, we were talking about the difference in price. I don't know if you've ever encountered this, but sometimes there's this little weird bug that it has where if you push the wrong button or something, these little, let me see. Yeah, Google's a little slow tonight. These little things turn purple. This is weird. We're almost halfway done making the code. So it's very slow tonight. This sucks. Oh well. It's how it goes sometimes. Well, we can continue on with the game. Proceed to 7. We'll score majorities, so we'll just get those out of there because those don't get the score. Here, blue gets to. We'll take a weed. Here, nobody wins. Here, green gets a foot. All right. Roll time. Green gets to switch a weed and a water. Okay, action plan green. Let's see what it looks like. Probably should be at 1,000 at least. Yeah, we're getting close to the end. Hopefully the verification doesn't take too long. I don't know what's up, but something's definitely up. Might be me. I hope not. Don't want things to be me. Let's see. 4. And we're going to go to the foot. Oh, I forgot now it's green's turn. I thought that was blue's turn. Oh, no, I should have looked. You know, it tells you right there. Good Lord, I'm messed up. Oh, no, it didn't fix, it didn't finish. So, it'll fix the error. See what's wrong. Might be server problems, which means we can't. We might have to stop soon. We'll see. Hopefully, it can fix it. Having to rewrite all that code again. Son of a wrench. Look at that lag. Such a lag. I love what we've done, though. Like taking it from a PDF to here. And to be honest with you, I've never done that before. I knew it could be done because I'm working on other projects that don't have a PDF to start with well written rules. The rules that I tell it the rules and we start building it and stuff. I don't have like a badass PDF that has everything in it and make the action plan for the PDF. This was such a dream compared to the stuff that I normally have to work on. Yeah, the stuff that I like, my original stuff that I've never built a physical board game for, like I'm just building it in Gemini, just doing it. It's so much harder because you build a part, you build it, you play this thing, and then you add a feature, and then you balance it, and then you add a feature. It's such a long process. Where this was, I mean, I'm sure to viewers this is a really long process, but as a person who has experience making other HTML apps and stuff, this was a dream. I mean, it's cool because it took my PDF and the instructions and we're building. Of course, it's screwed up a few times, but that's to be expected. Now, later on, as you get better, you'll use an IDE. If you don't know what an IDE is, well, I'm not going to explain it. Uh, you'll find out later. It's advanced stuff. Not that advanced, but it's a lot easier for testing and adding code, and you can get it to where AI tells you, "Hey, look about code. I mean, look at line number 900 around there. There's a section and it says this. Go in there and replace it with this." And you can make the edits yourself. Or if you're like me, you can do other things like work and just other things and allow it to do its thing. You copy paste it, go do something else, or work on another project parallel to it. And you're not having to I mean, it's tedious to copy and paste it, copy and paste little sections of code, but for some people this is more tedious. I sit there and work on like 2 or 3 games at a time, where I'll be working on having one AI building a rule book for the game that we're working on, and then working on the game parallel on the side, and then maybe work on another document that's talking about what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got a terminal. We've got stuff. Awesome. So let's get our code. We're going to copy the contents. Here's another file. Don't do anything with it until I give you instructions. This is promising. Go here down to the verifier step. I don't like how short that verification step is, but we'll see. Receive the files. Here's the instructions for doing a verification. We're comparing the modified version and the original. Copy, paste. See what it says. Now, we're doing stuff manually that can be done, that can be automated with AI. But it's a black box. Like, we know we're building this thing and we have several versions and we know what's going on. Like, we have a lot more control this way. And we're not, since we don't know how to code, we need some kind of control somewhere. Let's see. We've got an okay. So we're going to, we had passed. Paste this here. Let me go ahead and get the right name in there from the beginning. Maybe that would be cool. We'll go ahead and go here. Do that. Instead of putting a 2, we'll put a 3. No, we'll put a 4. And then we'll save as. Cool. As. And let me go and put it in the right place. Go here. Open our new version. 2-player. We've got a terminal now, which is cool. Awesome. Start phase 1, 5 and 5. Hopefully it fixed that other thing. We'll find out in minority scoring. That's as far as we're going to go, and then we'll stop the video. We'll try to get through this fast. So we're going to put 4 here. 2 there. We're just going fast. Wind. Move yours 3 times. This is the scoring opportunity. We're blue. I think it's at 3 times for the wind. So we go 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the way to do it. So we'll go 1, 2. We have another move. Let's do here. Green. I didn't see a. Oh, this is the redo button. Badass. I could have gone back. Awesome. All right. Our terminal's telling us what's going on, which is cool. Another action. The water opponents twice, and then majorities. So we're green. We want this dude the hell out of there. This dude the hell out of there. We're green. We have majority there. So let's get a grass. Blue goes. It goes grass. So blue can fight, eliminate everybody there, but they don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and skip. Okay. Then we're going to go to action 2 for green. Weed, which is weed. Remove an opponent's cube and then move one of your own cubes. So we want to remove this cube. And then we move that cube there. Cool. Water. Is it yours or you move your opponents twice? I need to score a minority, so I'm not going to do that. I already know it works. It's blue, so we're going to move this one here. Actually, we'll move that there. Oh, what else do we have to do for water? Then score majority. We'll score majority here. Oh, we already did it here, so we've got to choose from here. Foot. I'm really just trying to get to scoring. Okay, it was 5 to 5. Modifying map, putting a grass. These are the only ones that are going to score, so we'll just put a grass. This is blue, so we'll just put a grass there. Green wants a grass here, so they should score 5 and 5. So green should score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So they should be at 11. Boom. That's awesome. Okay, majority. Get that. I'm just going to go through this quickly. Okay. Change round. Ooh, a weed showed up there. That's cool. Can look at what we have. Green has all those tokens. They have those tokens. Dude, this is sweet. I'm pretty happy. One of the big things that we need to do is get the it's a balance step that's in there. We'll do that next time. We're just about done. I think we need to play a full game. I don't know if I'll do that. If I'll do that alone or if I'll do that on camera. And then we're really close. Anyway, how do you turn this damn thing off?